Welcome back to the last rewind with your hosts Big Red and Tremaine, coming to talk about whatever's going on in pop culture today. And two most popular things, maybe not the most popular things, but the two things we're going to talk about on this show is the color purple, and eventually we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle's response to Katt Williams, who's had the internet in a frenzy since the beginning of this year. He's got a response to Katt Williams, who has ethered every comedian in the world, and it's probably other people he's gotten on the waiting list later on, probably in February. So stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to talk about the color purple. And, me and Tremaine, at least me anyway, I'll let you tell it. I was a huge fan of the color purple growing up. Not so much as I became an adult and looked at it through different eyes, but there was a lot of people that said they were anticipating watching this new movie before December, came out Christmas or the day before Christmas or so. And people had pre-ordered tickets and which accounted for their big first couple of days when that movie came out. They had broke records for the I guess it was Christmas Day sales or whatever.
It was Christmas Day.
Yeah. And after it, though, it had a steep decline in sales to the point where people are calling it a flop. Now, I've heard that they spent like close to 100 to 130 million in production, and that's not even talking about advertising costs. So they're not going to recoup that, because usually movies, unless you're really good, you're going to stay steady with the sales, and then eventually it steadily declines. This one has a steep fall from its grace from where it started off with, so it doesn't look like it's going to reach that mark. So people are already declaring it a flop. But I wanted to see it anyway, because, I like to try to look at it from my point of view. And you saw it before I did. Sounds like you were forced to watch it. Would that be a right way to look at it?
Well, yes and kind of no. I was not prepared to go watch it when I did go see it. I went with my wife, and my wife went to some private screening. It was out. She went and saw it. Well, we went and saw it before its release date, which was on Christmas. Yeah, I saw it, and I had mixed emotions about it. It was the movie grew on me as I continued to watch it. In my opinion, the end is way better than the beginning of the movie. And I did go see it again, in the theater with my
you had
wife.
seen it twice.
I saw it twice in the theater with my wife and my wife and my kids. We had a family day, and that was the popular movie at the time. Want to go and wear your purple and take pictures in front of the poster and things of that nature. So I did see it again. I prefer the middle to the end over the beginning. To me, the beginning was just cliche to the point where the writers are just going to have to hit every pivotal moment in the original Color Purple. It was like there was no originality in the beginning of the movie. It was just let's copy the original from point A, point B. And then as the movie progressed, I started to see, all right, they're going in their own lane with this. And I started to get into it then. I did. I started to get into it then. The singing, a lot of people had an issue with the singing, being a musical.
Yeah.
if memory serves correct, the original was a Broadway play, which was a musical. Um, so I
Started off
just
as a book, but yeah,
started as a book. I do believe, yeah, it was a book. Alice Walker,
yeah.
Alice Walker, and at one point it was a play on Broadway, and it was a musical. Um, I'm not a musical kind of cat. I
All right.
I didn't like Dreamgirls that much because it was a musical.
What? Thought you love Dreamgirls.
Nah,
Step into the
nah,
bad side.
nah. Stick. Jimmy got soul. Nah,
Yeah. Eddie Murphy. Oh shoot, he should have won something for
I
that. I feel.
I like every actor or actress in Dreamgirls, and when there was not music involved,
Mm,
great movie.
right.
Kind of like Color Purple, great movie.
Mm,
But once to me the music made it, I don't know, it was out of touch a bit. But that's what it is. That's what you're gonna get when you watch a musical. And
yeah.
and that's how I felt about the Color Purple. I did appreciate the ending to the Color Purple. I I appreciate the ending to the new Color
Don't tell
Purple.
anybody now. Shoot, man.
Now I'm not.
Spoiler
I'm,
alerts.
I'm not
We
gonna
got to throw
spoil it.
that out there.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. Although if you don't get to them theaters and watch it, you may be watching it on one of these streaming platforms
It's
soon.
coming soon. I think it's already there.
Oh, really?
Let me
Yeah.
check. Somebody told me it was already about to be on a streaming platform. Let me look it up. But yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
in this day and age, it probably it's. I mean, in this day and age, I think Barbie
I
was in
think
the
it is.
theaters a couple. I ain't
It's
even seen that.
it's on Amazon Prime right now.
Mm,
That tells you how bad it's doing.
mm. I didn't know it was on Amazon Prime right now. Dang.
1999. Yep.
Um, and that's just it. It's probably it's doing bad, but I do feel as if it was a decent movie. But in this day and age, how long do movies stay in theaters? I don't know. Even if it's doing good, I don't know.
Pretty good while because like that's
Eh,
Oppenheimer and Barbie.
okay.
Uh,
How long did
they're
Barbie stay in?
a pretty good while. At least
Mm.
probably 2-3 months. I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
really? Okay. I still haven't seen it.
Hell, I think even the flop that was the Flash movie,
Mm.
I think stayed for at least a month or so.
Yeah, and we what is it? It's the 27th. It's 2 days after the release date. A
Right.
month, 2 days out 2 days to a month after the release date.
Yeah. And I don't know when it got on Amazon Prime, but I think it's been up there at least a week or so.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and like I had a maybe it was the company I was with when I watched the movie. I was with my wife, and my wife loved it. Oh, you would have thought my wife loved it, and she looked over at me, and I can tell she was trying to get how I felt about it.
Mm.
And I didn't want to ruin her. I didn't want to bring her down. I did not want to bring her down. We walking out of the theaters. I know she wanted my energy to match hers as it related to the movie. I didn't
Baby,
want to
did you
bring her
just
down.
sing that song? How horrible men are? Did you see that?
I didn't want to bring her down, so I just talked about the parts that I liked, which was the end. Which was the end.
That's not a
I
lot. It's really
because in the beginning it
like
was
5 minutes.
oh man, it was just
Mhm.
everything. I mean, I get it to the point where it's the Color Purple, and the audience probably wants to see some references, hear the references from the original. But if I believe there's a way in the new one they could have done it without being so obvious, with it being so obvious that we're just gonna blatantly rip off the first one. But again, that's only in the beginning.
Mhm.
That, in my opinion, that's only in the beginning. In the end and in the middle, they got it together.
Okay, okay. Okay, if you were to rate this out of, let's say, we'll give you 10 stars, we'll give you some room to work with. What would you rate this? 10 being the best, of course.
I give it a five. I say five.
Ooh,
I say
so
five.
average, like right in the middle.
It's right in the middle. Again, to me, what saved it was the them coming into their own towards the middle and the end.
Mhm.
I'm a movie watcher. I like movies, and to me, what the creators did in the new one towards the end basically gave it that 5. Um,
So you would have gave it like way lower. That ending helped out a lot for you.
it did. It helped out a lot. It helped out a lot. I saw creativity in the end as opposed to them not just copying the original. Yes.
Hmm. Okay. So, how is there a rewatchability to this? Because
Well,
like,
I have.
I mean, not by force though. You were forced though on your
um,
own at home alone. Like, hey, I ain't got nothing else to do. It's a rainy day. Let me watch Color Purple,
it's
2023.
literally a rainy day right now, and I'm not cutting on that movie.
Fair enough. Fair
No, I'm not. It's
enough.
so much more that I will go pick over that. I know I mean if the original is on, I'm definitely picking the original over that. But
Right.
no, I don't think I'll watch it again. But I will stick with a solid 5, you know. And and maybe I'm not the audience catered to like it.
Good point. I'm glad you said that. Very good point. Um, and that could be part of the reason why it also flopped as well,
Mm,
because you were not the audience it was trying to serve.
correct.
I guess the audience it was serving to was first Black women, then secondly maybe women if they could get into this, because it certainly was not a movie for men. And most of the time musicals aren't. Not to say that men can't enjoy musicals, but it's really not our audience. And I
Yeah.
think there's a bevy of reasons why it flopped besides just that, but I don't, I think that helped. Um, I watched it, of course. I watched it at home, streamed it, because I was like, I'm not about to put into any money into this. As I mentioned earlier, I used to love this movie, the original one, and then grew up and I looked at it through different eyes. Um, just seems like a man bashing movie, and you know, I I can I watched the Barbie movie. I watched it with my daughter. That had some bashing of men in that too, but
Really? Mm,
I can put aside um the misandry and see if there was good parts in the movie. And Barbie movie, besides that part, was a good movie, and I can understand why people loved it. Just like I've been on an old movie kick lately. I've watched Casablanca, black and white movie. I watched Gone with the Wind. I forced myself to sit through that. Now, normally I wouldn't watch that movie, but I can understand for the period time why that was such a huge hit. And I can do that. I can separate that, and I can separate why Color Purple back then was a good movie
mm.
and the 80s. This movie, I think more guys are just more aware of what the narrative seems to be in these type of movies, and they didn't want to go see it because they remember how the old one was. It was a lot of just every guy in there was bad. And it was like there was just no come up for any of the guys. There was just no, this is one thing I would say about Tyler Perry movies. Tyler Perry has a lot of movies that usually cater to women that are in bad relationships and they meet with these evil guys, but then usually at the end they find these good guys that turns their mindset around that all guys are not bad.
Hmm.
That's one good thing I'll say about Tyler Perry movies. This doesn't have that necessarily. It kind of did, but it didn't.
Well, that's why that's the creativity of the end that I liked about this one.
Mhm.
It alludes to I
You know
can't
what?
say
Go
too
ahead,
much.
man. We're gonna put spoiler alert up there. So if somebody watches that, then they'll know. The
Okay.
spoiler alert. You can say what the end it is.
Okay, so that's the creativity that I liked about the new one. It alludes to um Mr. I can't remember the actor who played Mister in the new one. I don't know his name.
His name was Colman Domingo.
Okay, Colman Domingo. He was also in
I think it was The Walking Dead. Was one thing he was in.
He was in this movie on Netflix. This political movie on Netflix recently. Anyway, Colman Domingo. The ending. This is why I give that. This is why I give it a 5, because of the creativity towards the end, because it alludes to the Mr. character. He saw the wrong in which he did the Seeley character over these years, and in the original, Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover, they never had a moment after she she was free from him and she left. She gave him the curse, and she was like, "Fuck you, I'm out." But in the new one, if you recall, he goes to her pants store, and they had this moment where like he admits, "I know I fucked up," and she kind of it alludes to she forgave him, and he bought some pants and he went on, and then later when they're having the dinner, he's at the dinner and they're cordial towards one another, right?
Yeah.
So that is why I say the creativity of the new one was that it shined a light that, okay, some people are bad people, men and women, they're bad people, but a man or a woman can realize how bad they are and do something to compensate for that. Will they ever get back together? Hell no, I don't think that. But what he did do, and he did do this in the original too, is he paid for her sister and her kids to come to the States from Africa to be reunited, and he did that in the original. What the original did not do, it did not shine light on that to the point where it showed him going to the immigration office and paying for their arrival in the U.S.
Yeah.
But I don't think in the original the Seeley character knew Mr. paid for that and did that.
And I figured they would have to know somehow, because you don't just get money in Africa and just say, "Hey, send me back over here to America for nothing." They're like, we got to know where it came from.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say it though. I got what you're saying.
Yeah, and in the original, the Fantasia character, the Seeley character, it was at least somewhat in the air that because he said, "I got some people coming for you at the dinner," right? So it's somewhat in the air that he at least planned that for her, which I'm not saying I'm definitely not saying he was a good guy in the beginning. I'm not saying he's a good guy in the end, but he at least tried to do something to make up for being a dick to her all those years. And that was a huge makeup, because that was her sister that he took from her and her children. Will it give her years back in her life? Absolutely not. But at least he can acknowledge, like, all right, I fucked her over all these years. I can do this. And again, they seemed cordial enough at the Easter dinner to the point where they were joking. He wore the pants.
The hammer.
He wore the pants. And that was the creativity I liked in the original, as opposed to the ending of that was the creativity I liked in the new one as opposed to the original. It alluded to the fact that, all right, they're not friends or nothing, but they're moving on with life.
Yeah.
They're moving on with life.
Oh, there's a reason why they weren't going to be friends, and I'll allude to that a little later. But think about what you just had to say, though. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying, and that is a strong point that you made about there was a big difference of how it ended with Mr. in this one. But it took a curse to get this man to change back. You could say an act of God to get him to be good. That's how horrible these men are in this movie.
That's true.
So normally they couldn't change no other time. They couldn't see the wrong in what they did their entire life unless a curse was put upon them, or unless God got in the way and just completely changed them. No way, no how that was going to change. We didn't need that for Suge Avery. Suge Avery just went back to her father and just hugged them, and everything was okay. But
They ain't have the
men like
whole
this in the movie were just, I mean, it just doesn't get any worse. I mean, the father, Celie's father, which
Dion Cole.
really wasn't her father, was raping her all these times, and getting rid of the babies and stuff like that. That's horrible. You don't get no worse than that. I have to say that too. That was and it took me a minute to even recognize him. Let me switch gears a little bit. Dion Cole. Did not even recognize him at first. I was like, I know I've seen him from something. Where do I know him from something? Then I kept looking. Oh, that's the comedian Dion Cole. Like
He
he
looked
played that
more
part.
like Danny Glover to me.
You say he looked more like Danny Glover?
Yes, when I to me he looked more like a young Danny Glover.
You know what? I feel like he probably could have been a better Mister. He probably could have played Mister pretty good.
I thought that too.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting you to hate him in that role. So I give him props to that. He's got range. I would tell you that. Dion Cole's probably got a lot of roles coming to him in the future. He definitely has range to play these type of characters. What did you think about the early Celie, the young Celie? Yeah, what did you think about how she played that role?
I think she did it well. I think she played it well. I think obviously when you think of the Celie character, it's one name that comes to mind, and that's Whoopi Goldberg, old or young. And I don't think she did a bad job. I honestly don't think she did a bad job. I had no problem with no actor or actress in this movie. I think rightfully so, they're all pretty good entertainers and actors or actresses. To your point about Dion Cole, it was the layout of the beginning of the movie that maybe made their acting look a little subpar to me or over the top. But I'm pretty sure if you take either one of them actors or actresses in another movie, I think they do a good job. The young lady who played the original Celie, I think she did a good job based upon what she was dealt with. She is a cult classic in The Color Purple, so probably with some added pressure to portray a young Celie. But I don't think she did a bad job.
What about Halle Bailey as Nettie?
I think of any actor or actress in the movie that was a little too extra, it was her. I think she did a good job too, but I do think if I had to choose anyone in the movie who was a little too extra, it was her.
Okay.
With her role of Hetty. Yeah. Nettie, I'm sorry.
I don't recall. I don't recall seeing images um of Celie's mom too in the original. Am I incorrect on that?
No, you are not incorrect at all. There was references to her and through the conversation of when the dad died and that how she acquired the house. So
Yeah.
in the original they gave Celie the house, not the store. Not a store. They gave her the house and she had the land. The land.
And
But
that showed her.
she did have a clothing a sewing. She had a
Yeah.
sewing. She was a she could sew. She could sew, and she did have a business in the original as well too.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, I got that in my notes. Whoopi Goldberg. She made her appearance in the movie as a midwife for Celie, young Celie.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
How could that be bad?
That right there is, and notice that was the beginning. That is the epitome of we gotta pay homage. Like let it go. We know Whoopi Goldberg is synonymous with The Color Purple. I don't think there was no. I don't. And when I watch, mind you, I watched it in the theater. Oh my God! When Whoopi Goldberg came on that screen, you would have thought Jesus rose. It was these were, oh, Whoopi. I'm like, you can see her on The View any day.
I thought she was gonna have a cape on and save young Celie from Mister.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's
I
Whoopi.
know what you're going through.
My wife nudged me. I'm like, all right, I see her. I get it. And I'm like I said, she's on daytime TV every day. I didn't like it because somehow, some way, we gotta have a reference to Whoopi Goldberg in our movie. That that part could have been anybody. It didn't have to be Whoopi Goldberg. Again, we all know Whoopi Goldberg is synonymous with The Color Purple. She did not have to be in that scene for us to get that message. I didn't like it. To me, that was pandering, if you will. It's like when the president is campaigning and they're just pandering to their audience that's in that they're targeting that particular day, who happen to be in the audience. Like, there's a bunch of black people in the audience and he comes out, playing Jeezy's My President's Black and it's Joe Biden. I ain't like it.
Good analogy there. Okay. What about this scene? Compare these two scenes. I'm gonna say it fell flat compared to the original. When Nettie got kicked out by Mister, I thought that fell flat. It had emotion behind it, but that other one, I've heard that Spielberg told the original Nettie, I want you to fight I want you to fight so hard that you gonna make Danny Glover have to fight hard to even separate you two. I forgot what the motivation he gave her, but he told her pretty much, don't let him separate you two. Fight hard to make him separate you two. And that scene was not real, but she put her all into that scene. You can feel that emotion in the original Color Purple. Is like he's really separating some family members. It doesn't even look like two actors. These are real family members. He's separating it, making them split apart. And this one, yeah, it was some crying and but not so much. Nettie didn't really have no tears, and her face didn't really give the emotion that she's losing someone that is real near and dear to her. It was just like it's acting. The original one felt like it was real, like that was a real family member that was being separated. And Danny Glover was really going to kill this girl if she didn't get out of there.
I feel the same way. I felt like it was a realness to the original. I believe that goes back to Haley Bailey's overacting, if you ask me. I believe she knew that was an important scene in the movie, in the original. And it was an overacting job. It wasn't as pure as the original.
Right.
It didn't come as natural, which is why you can just say, all right, they're acting. In the original, you're like, oh God, does Danny Glover really don't want them to be together? What did they do to Danny Glover?
Yeah. And let's see, the beginning, that setup of that just makes the reunion that much, drama filled when it actually happens. So you got to set up in the beginning to make the ending that much sweeter. So
correct. And then in the end, you're absolutely correct about that. Maybe that's why the reunion didn't seem so, I don't know, as heartfelt, if you will. I mean, there was the letters over the years. We get that.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't feel, I'm just watching it, and I didn't feel like this is somebody that she's been terribly missing, something she's been feeling in the pit of her stomach her entire life. I didn't feel that in this movie. I felt it in the old one, but I didn't feel it in this one.
Yeah, and there was Sierra. I was okay.
She the irony, she didn't. I don't think she danced in this movie. Unless she danced at the very end. I don't remember seeing her do any kind of 1-2 step.
Nah, she was only in the end at the dinner.
Yeah. Okay, so a Fantasia. Look, this is the grown Celie now. She's gotten grown. seems unfair to have to compare the two, but that's what we're going to do. Between Whoopi Goldberg Seeley and Fantasia Seeley, how did you think Fantasia did overall? Minus the singing part, of course, because Whoopi doesn't sing in the original.
Fantasia did not do a bad job. Whoopi Goldberg did a better job, but she did not do a bad job. I felt at times Fantasia's portrayal of Seeley was, how can I say, it was not up to par, but I can only say it wasn't up to par because I'm comparing it to Whoopi Goldberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I eliminate the fact that let's say I've never seen the original Color Purple, which is uncommon for most black folks.
Pretty much.
But let's say I've never seen it.
Vote for that.
Let's say I've never seen the original Color Purple. Yeah, I'll say Fantasia did a great job. But unfortunately, we live in a world of comparison, and she was portraying a landmark role in one Seeley. So yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be some comparison. I mean, but if you never saw Whoopi Goldberg that character, you would say Fantasia did a great job. You know, obviously Fantasia is a better singer than Whoopi Goldberg, so she got that notch.
I don't know. Has Whoopi ever sung in anything?
Maybe in some of her stand-up back in the day, being playful.
Not Made in America. That's
Made in America. I was just thinking about that movie.
I think she did an okay job, regardless of the comparison. I think she did a good job, not a great job. She made you feel for the character. She made you feel like that she was unworthy of love. But of course, Whoopi, I just think she did a better job. Whoopi should have won an Oscar for that. You know, she won with a Ghost of all things. But I think she definitely should have won something for Color Purple. But that's not any knock on Fantasia. I mean, everybody can't be the best. I just think she had a lot to live up to, but she did a good job. I could see why she was on Broadway for all those shows to perform for The Color Purple, and that, and of course, because of the voice too. So
yeah, I think, like I said, I don't think Fantasia did a bad job. I think she did a really good job. I do think there aren't many actresses nowadays that could portray that role. I think she did do her part as far as giving it her version of that role. You know, like I said, I don't think she did a bad job. I was pleased with Fantasia's performance. Again, going back to what I said before, I really had no gripe with any actor or actress in the movie.
Yeah.
It was just the pandering, and a key example of that is that Whoopi Goldberg cameo, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how about Sophia, played by Danielle Brooks? How do you think she did compared to Oprah's Sophia?
She was funnier.
Give it that.
She was funnier than Oprah. I would say that. I know Color Purple is not a comedy, but
there's comedic moments. I know
there's comedic moments.
There's comedic moments.
And let's be honest, over the years, you can see comedy and pain, and Color Purple has a lot of painful yet comedic moments. But I would definitely say Sophia Brooks was funnier than Oprah. Yeah. I liked her sense of humor over Oprah.
Yeah. Now they both, I'm gonna give them about the same grade as far as domineering women. They both played their part. They both looked like they could whoop up on some men.
Yeah,
especially the men they were dating too, which is Mr. Sun. It sounds funny to say Mr. Sun. Yeah, Harpo, which would be part of Oprah's production company later on. So some people years later never even put that together. That was Oprah backwards, but yeah.
I remember she said it on a interview, maybe on her show. She just outright said it. I don't know.
Yeah, some people still don't know that, but I guess they probably didn't watch the movie, or they don't read things backwards. But yeah, Sophia. I know she's being nominated for Academy Award. I'm not sure if she's going to win it or not, but singing was fine. She led the song. I think it's called "Hell No," which is about the evil men and how men have tried to beat and fight on her and probably try to sexually assault her or whatever like that. And after I think she sung that after she saw what happened with Celie. They sung it,
Yeah,
I think, twice actually. I think Fantasia as Celie sung it later in the movie when Sophia went to prison.
they sung it
Um,
twice. They sung
yeah.
it twice
Okay. All
in
right.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to that eventually, but yeah, Sophia, very domineering. You could say she's probably one of the heroes of the movie, depending on the audience that watches it. Again, it ain't for me, because most men are not going to want to date anyone like that. But Mister didn't like her. Let's just say that for sure. But he didn't like her in the original. Eventually, she left Harpo, went found someone else, started a whole fight over that, and what's her name? Squeak came in there, played by her. Her, the singer, R&B
Yeah.
singer, talented R&B singer and writer, played Squeak. And um, I think I like the original when you knew she was about to get her ass whooped.
Oh yeah, when she started like whimpering, she's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and when she did she hit Oprah in the original as Sophia? Did she slap her or anything? Because something happened, and then they were like, "Oh, time to go." And even
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne, who was in the movie too, in the Old Color Purple, he packed up his stuff like, "Oh, time to go," because they knew she was about to get beat down.
She did hit her. Yeah, she did hit her. Uh, she hit her because that stopped the music,
Yeah,
and then it cut to Oprah, and Oprah was like I said, fine with me. And then she hit her into like the water cooler or something.
mm.
Yeah, who was it? Ray Don John?
Yeah, Ray Don Chon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are both. Well, that one to me was more comical, the Old Color Purple, than this one. It was okay. You know, of course they copied that scene from the original, but I felt that scene a little bit better in the original one. But nothing wrong with how they copied it. This one. It's just nothing was better about it this go around.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, the biggest scene, or I guess next to the biggest scene, was when she was out with. No, she wasn't out with Harpo. She was with her. I think she was with the other guy she was messing with. Right? Was she
Buster.
with the big
Yeah.
guy? And no, was she? I can't remember. Was she with Harpo or not with that? Where she was in the street and the white lady asked her.
She was with Buster.
But okay, okay,
The guy she left Harpo for.
okay. I was right then. Okay, so yeah, and the woman asked her, white lady asked her, could she, wash her kids and stuff like that, and she was like, "Hell no, I ain't doing it." And, "What you say to me?" And the white guy came up, "What you say to my wife?" I said, "Hell no," slapped her, and she fought back. You know, she fought in the original one. And I said she played a part when it came to that part. It was like big, rotund woman that wasn't going to take no mess from anybody, especially no men, because all the men were evil, and that's the
Yeah.
one that fought back. Because if we don't fight back, then we're just going to let this happen to us. Hell no, we're not going to let that happen to us. We're going to fight back and beat the patriarchy that is happening with us. And what's the crazy thing? I hate that they even saying that that's like the black men ran the patriarchy. Like the black man, this was like the early 1900s. Like
Yeah.
we're not even in charge of the country at this point. So how can we run the patriarchy, if anything? But again, that's another part of the movie I hate. So she eventually, she got beat down. She went to prison. She didn't look as beat down as the old Sophia. Old Sophia looked like he looked so bad. Forrest Whitaker would have said, "Man, you need to get your eye checked out." That's how bad she looked.
She looked. You're right. You were right. That's one thing I didn't like about it. The Sophia, when they were at the it was an audience at the dinner table. You know,
Mhm.
in the original, I think it was a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner of some sorts.
Yeah.
But in this one, it was just a dinner, and she didn't look as, like you said, as beat down, as traumatized,
Yeah.
as she didn't look like life had taken over on her. She didn't look like a broken woman, and I think that was
You're
the
sad. That's about it.
yeah, I think that was the look that was they were trying to go for. She was a
Yeah.
broken woman at this point, and she didn't. She just looked, like you said, sad, but not as traumatized as Oprah looked in that scene.
hmm Um, so she eventually, yeah, she got to the dinner part, and I'm skipping some stuff, but they went to the dinner part. This is where Celie had gotten her wings or her balls at this point, and now she wants to stand up to Mister. She holds a knife up to him, and Sophia seems to get her smile back, and next scene after that, she does another dance number, and it's like she looks 10 years younger. Look, she actually lost some weight. She wore some slimming pants and was
Yeah,
dancing and stuff. I'm like, you know, she's older, she's supposed to be now. It's probably been like 10 years or so after the incident, and
but I
she got
guess with
younger,
that, it's supposed to give this image that
invigorated.
if you don't have a man wearing you down, you can flourish and you can look better, you can feel better, things of that nature.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say something else too, and I think it's subliminal too. That song about the pants.
Uh huh.
You thought you were wearing the pants. Look who's wearing the pants now.
Yeah, I caught
That
that too. I
seemed to be a cat play on patriarchy. Like, nah, we're ruling the things now. Men get out the way. Women are pushing through this.
she had her own business at that point, and
Yeah, we don't need you.
he
We're
had to come in.
independent now.
And like I said, he had to come in and buy some pants from her when he
Yes.
have to.
And look how sad and subservient he looked. Like, okay, can I come in here and buy some pants for you? I'll wear any pants you get me.
And
You can
then he
give me
wore
them
them.
hammer
Then he
pants
wore
if you
them.
want. Any pants you got, I take it. I'm happy just that you even talk to me.
Yeah,
I'll do anything to get in your good favor. Please take this curse off of me.
yeah. And then he bought the pants, and then he wore them. And like he said, she cursed him, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, and those I don't. I've never even seen those kind of pants in that day of age. I've never seen those kind of pants. Those pants look like they were in the 70s at some point.
They look like hammer pants.
Exactly. It looked like, or somebody had gotten some bad drugs and tripped out and bought those pants at, I don't know, 70s party, a retro party or something. I was like, where did this come from? But yeah, that's seemed to be some subliminal stuff in a lot in this movie, or some was just blatant
No,
messages they were putting in the movie.
it was so subliminal that it became blatant. I think, and
Yeah.
if you piece things together, you like, all right, that's the I wear the pants now. Come on, it's obvious,
Yeah.
but that was the I guess you can say the route they were trying to go in the new one by to uplift women by uplifting women through song and dance, if you will.
Yes. Which again is, I think, is the word got out that these type of things were in the movie. I think that's part of the reason, again, why I think the movie flopped. And we'll get into the other things a little later. What I want to get to now is this probably shunned away some other people. The old Color Purple, where Suge Avery and Celie, developed a friendly relationship, and she was trying to, you know, pick her out of the doldrums of her home by being with Mr. knowing Mr. fiended for her. Let's just be honest. Suge Avery was a prostitute. You know, she wasn't no flapper girl. Somebody was just singing songs and stuff. She was a prostitute. We're gonna play around with that, but people were cheering her as the hero of the movie, or one of the heroes of the movie. She was a prostitute. A hoe. We can say a hoe if we want to say that. But she
She
befriended
never
Celie.
like, well, and even in the new one, I believe Haley Bailey said she's a loose woman,
Yeah.
which in
Woman,
turn
no,
is a hoe.
yeah. Yeah. And Celie wanted to be like her.
She even wanted to be like
Yeah,
her.
remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
But it almost feels like something subliminal there. Like, hey, we can do what we want with our bodies and be free and be with any man we want to. Like seems like another message up there. Um, Suge Avery, Taraji, I will say did a good job as Suge Avery.
Taraji gave the best to me of all actors and actresses in the movie, the best acting job, the best portrayal of the character she was portraying in Suge Avery. While I think Margaret Avery did an amazing job in the 80s, I do. I do think Taraji did a better job than Margaret Avery. That's the only one.
I
That's
will
the
agree.
only character who did better than the original.
I will agree. I will agree with that. I thought Taraji was better in this role. Not that, like I said, Margaret Avery was horrible or even bad or even average. Taraji was just that much better.
Yes, I
And
would say that.
Taraji was trying to get a pay raise.
Taraji
In this
brought
role.
it in this movie,
Yeah.
which also helped for them to get that 5. Because Taraji, you gotta remember, Taraji wasn't in like the beginning when they were kids.
Yeah.
Because she came a part of their lives when they were adults. When Celie
Yeah.
got older and she got married, so the Suge Avery character rather. But I was
Just thinking about that.
I think Taraji did a great job.
Just talking about that. Didn't well, maybe because Mr. saw her after hours or whatever. But she knew Harpo as a kid. It's like, look how big you done got or whatever. So she seen Harpo as a kid, but maybe she saw him after hours away from the house.
She had not a relationship with him, but she knew of him as a kid.
Oh, she
yeah.
had a relationship with him. All right.
I don't know, like she was banging Harpo too, but
Oh man, that would have been a twist.
but again, I think Taraji did a great job. Like you said, she was trying to. That was like I'm gonna stick it to you, show you how good I am through this role, and she did.
All right. Well, while we're staying on that, so Taraji as Suge Avery, like I said, developed a relationship with Celie. The original one was tame, as far as that kiss. Now, I remember watching it as a kid, probably about to sneeze in a little bit. Here it comes. Oh, there we go. There we go. I remember watching it as a kid, and I didn't know what was going on. I just thought that was just a friendly kiss. I didn't even know what lesbianism was or nothing like that. Or, I just thought, oh, it's just a kiss, friendly kiss, just to show her that she's a beautiful woman. Like, like a mother kisses a daughter or whatever, or innocent.
Yeah.
And then, learning that in the book that, yeah, they were kind of like lovers or whatever like that. And I heard that people got mad about that, back then, that it wasn't played on a little bit more compared to the book, and they added a little bit more, just a little bit more. They had a dance number, Suge Avery and Celie, Fantasia, and Taraji. They had a dance number. They were dancing, slow dancing with each other, singing together. At the end of the dance number, they kissed, but it won't no kiss for like a second. They held it. I think I saw some tongue slip in at some point. Lasted, I think, about 6 or 7 seconds. And then they woke up in the bed together. So it was no, alluded that they might have done something. They did something in this one. So the people who wanted to see it, I hope they were happy this time. Yeah, they were hot for each other in this movie. And that probably could have chased some people away too, compared to the original one. Or brought new fans. Who knows?
Yeah, I like when we had a conversation the other night. I didn't see the. I thought it was just a mild, tame kiss that obviously had to happen on screen because that we all knew in the original that Suge Avery and Celie they kissed and they were, I guess you can say, hot for each other. They were lesbians. Um, did Suge Avery get married again in the original?
Again?
Or did she get married at all in the original?
Yeah, she did. Well, remember she said, "I was married now." That's where that came from.
Okay.
She tried to show her ring off to her dad who passed by. Look, I was married now. He didn't want to pay her attention.
You're right. Because I know she got married to the. That was a goofy looking dude. She got married.
Yeah, you talking about the new one?
Yeah,
he's a musical artist in real life.
He's an odd looking cat, but I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right, because that's where that was a catchphrase for a while. Like a lot of women still kind of say, "I's married now," or hold up, yeah, "I's married now." Oprah said it too when she got married to Harpo.
Right.
She's like, "I's married now."
I don't recall seeing him at the end of the movie though. When they were at the table eating outside of the new Color Purple.
He wasn't. That's why I asked that.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that.
I was like, damn, they done got rid of him too? That another man they done got rid of?
He wasn't there, and that's why I asked that, because it looked like, and it was never alluded to, but it looked like that Suge Avery was like, I'm done with him, and she was just going to devote the rest of her life to Celie. And that's what it looked like to me. And even in the original, it looked like that too, because they were hanging out at the house. It appears as if they worked for Celie at the pants store.
Mm-hmm.
So
could have, because the reason people will put at the scene with Mr. and Celie at the pants store, where he said, you think maybe we could hang out, It's like, nah, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
Probably because I was going to say maybe we could, well, because we had a past and, I don't want to go through that again. Probably because she wasn't attracted to dude anymore, because she probably liked Suge Avery, or she just like women, period. So no men at all are allowed.
Yeah, I think it was that point.
Which might be the reason why Suge Avery got rid of the fiance.
Probably. I think Mr.
She won't really happy.
Men were Celie at that point.
Yeah, so it's just, like I said, it's just, men just don't make nobody happy in this movie at all. Unless you're a subservient guy. Harpo, the only reason old girl's gonna be with Harpo is he had to kowtow to everything that she says, and just be weak.
Yeah, even his other girl, Squeak, left him.
Squeak left him, yeah. Oh yeah, she just left him for no really apparent reason.
She just said she gonna move with Suge Avery and Celie in Memphis, and just left him. I believe in the movie, the original, Ray Don Sean left him too.
Yeah,
she left with them at the dinner.
And it might be for the same reason why Celie likes Suge. She figured it out too. Like, you know what? I actually don't like guys either. Go be with you and wear some pants.
They eat the pants. And there's not a strong enough reference to the point where she owned a pants store and then she said, I wear the pants now. That was obvious. That was obvious. I'm not even gonna say it's subliminal.
Yeah.
It was obvious as to where the writers were trying to go with that reference.
Let me ask you about this, because this one, I was more shocked that this guy was alive than how he played his role. I could have swore Lou Gossett Jr. was dead. I thought this dude had been dead for like a decade or so. I was like, it's like Lou Gossett Jr. Like, no way. This dude I know he's been dead since the early 2000s. Mandela effect must be, because I swore he was dead.
I did too. In fact, a little off topic. I thought Bob Barker was dead before he originally died. Like Bob Barker died, what I want to say, last year or 2 years ago. I thought Bob Barker died way earlier. But going back, I thought in fact, I didn't even want to, like, when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, that's Whoopi Goldberg. I didn't even want to yell out his name or say his name to my wife because I was unsure it was him.
Right.
I thought he was dead.
And Lou Gossett, I don't know why he kind of looked like Richard Roundtree towards the end of his death, but he's dead. I think he died last year, right?
He did. He died last. He did die last year. Yeah.
And Bob Barker died last year, August of 2023.
See, I felt like Bob Barker died way before last year. I don't know.
Yeah, he was
I felt like I
99.
read it somewhere.
Yeah, he was 99. And now Lou Gossett is going strong. Lou Gossett is 87. Yeah, I thought he was dead. But what I was about to get to was as Mister's dad, that's one of the roles I didn't like better. I thought the late, and maybe you can consider him great, Adolph Caesar was much better.
Oh, yes, he was. He was. He was much better. He gave off this hatred towards Suge Avery that the other actor did not. You know,
you're not gonna let that woman talk to you that way, is your boy?
Yeah, I love and when he was at the dinner table, he had some little one-liners and some quips in there that were funny as well. You're gonna let that nappy headed girl sit at your table and disrespect you or something like that. It was just his cadence and his tone in which he talked was I will say funny, but it was also just it fit the role.
It seems like the role of a guy that lives through his children that wants him to live a certain way. Because remember, that's kind of the problem with Mister. Mister wants to please his dad so much, he's willing to do almost anything.
Because he was messing up the farm and the house was going to hell and everything.
Yeah, and it kind of alluded a lot that Mister in this one had some dreams that he didn't accomplish. Now he's talking about I could have been in Shakespeare. He kind of said that in this new one. That there was a lot of things that he wanted to accomplish that he didn't get done because he was living for his father in this one.
Yeah,
which wasn't a good guy either.
But I definitely think of Adolph Caesar. Definitely
played a better role. Who named that guy? There's one that Caesar part I get. That's his last name, I think. If that is his real name.
No, that is his last name. When you said it rang a bell. Adolph Caesar. That's his last name.
But why would the parents go with Adolf Caesar? Like, I know Adolf Hitler was, he was born in 1933. So, yeah, they didn't know at the time Adolf Hitler was going to be who he was. So maybe that explains it, I guess.
Maybe it's his stage name. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Which is even worse because why would he pick that as a stage name?
Yeah,
that means he picked that.
Well, Adolf, I know was a prominent name at one point. And of course, now because of history of Adolf Hitler, people don't want to go by that name anymore. So, still, I guess that sounds bad, but I guess it was too late to change his name once all that happened. Like, well, I'm gonna make people forget that name had a bad connotation to it. Nope, you're never gonna do that. Never. You're gonna have to. It's gonna have to take 200 years later and some good movies for somebody to be named that for them to forget about Adolf Hitler. And I don't know that's gonna be possible. Sadly. Yeah. But yeah, I thought Adolf Caesar did a better job.
Oh, he did.
In this one.
Absolutely, he did.
I don't know if Adolf, let's see, he 1933. He wasn't as old as Lou Gossett, so maybe that plays a part because he was born in 1933, so he had to be in his 50s in 1980 something, whatever.
80s, yeah.
But he looked old though, so Adolf Caesar, I give him credit for that one. Let's see. So let's go with Mister. Let's say, let's compare the Misters on this one. Between the 1983 Color Purple and the 2023 Color Purple, which one was better to you?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
And if to sum it up, it goes back to that scene where they were trying to separate the sisters, and Nettie and Celie was separated in the rain. Well, in the original, they weren't in the rain. They were. It was a hot day on a dirt road. But it was the intensity in which Danny Glover brought to that character, the arrogance he brought to the character as well. I want to say I read that Danny Glover was so into that character that he's apologetic to some degree now for just the overall, because people just, there's some characters you just like you hate them for the rest of their life because of that character. Lawrence Fishburne, Ike Turner.
Only the good actors can get away from that, though.
For me, who became one, Sanaa Lathan in The Family That Prays.
She did.
When I see Sanaa Lathan, I think of that character in The Family That Prays and how much she was just ugh. And Danny Glover is one of those characters. I don't think of Lethal Weapon when I think of Danny Glover. I'm thinking of Mr. from Color Purple,
Yeah. Mr. gets a gun on Lethal Weapon, though.
Riggs, that was his name, right?
Yeah. Sergeant Riggs.
Mel Gibson. Nah, I think of Danny Glover in Color Purple. I think Danny Glover did a far better job. He was just more. It was his intensity towards the character, again, how he brought it to that character.
Yeah, and that's not to say that the other guy did a bad job. It's just
no, he did.
Danny Glover embodied that role better.
Danny Glover embodied. The other guy didn't do a bad job at all. But again, if there's one scene that separates those two's body of work as it relates to The Color Purple, it's that scene when they separated the sisters, and Danny Glover knocked that out the damn park, boy. He was throwing dirt and shit.
Yeah.
She was running down the dirt road. He was throwing dirt and shit. He's like, "Don't you ever come back on my property?"
Yeah, that's the difference between, I think, good and great actors. Good actors, they can make a scene great because they're acting. Great actors, it doesn't look like acting. It looks like something that's really happening. It's almost like kayfabe. Like you can't tell the difference if it's acting or is this real. Did they have to snap their fingers to get the person out of a trance for being in that role? Or did like Danny Glover, I felt like they had to get a psychologist on set to get him to not be Mr. anymore.
I believe it's called method acting.
Method acting. Okay.
Michael Ealy says when he does a role, he has to separate himself after they've wrapped.
Yeah.
He has to separate himself for like 2 weeks from his family to get back into who he really is.
Some people call that possession. Michael Ealy, not to get too off the topic, but Michael Ealy, I think he's a good actor, maybe even great for the roles he plays, even though it's usually the same role. He can play every character but happy. It's like he plays a great, depressed, angry, sad character. His face is built for it. He can give these emotions like no one else. But you never see him play happy, though.
But you didn't buy him in Barbershop when he was somewhat happy.
Was he? Is that what he playing? I didn't see happy.
In Barbershop?
Yeah, I never saw him happy. Even when he got with Eve, he seemed like he was depressed getting with Eve. He was like old dude from Unsolved Mysteries, Robert Ullman. He just never had a happy face. Even when the murderer was found, or someone who got kidnapped was found, Robert Ullman on Unsolved Mysteries was always unhappy and gravely unhappy on top of that.
What about Think Like a Man, Michael Ealy?
Ever. I've never seen him happy. Even when he smiles, it looks like it hurts.
I think I know what you're saying. I think I know what you're getting at, because in Think Like a Man and both Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman, those are funny, uplifting, somewhat movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Michael Ealy character in both of those movies is still kind of dark.
Yeah. Around his eyes, he's got this darkness around his eyes that just never goes away. You know, and so
like they were at the pool and in the second thing, like a man, they were trying to like get into the pool. He was just still kind of dark. I don't know. And then he did this one. He said this one line in the second one to Taraji, coincidentally, who he was dating in the second one. He said, "Come and get some of this light skin love," but he's not on camera when he says it, but you can hear him, and it's so awkward because it's with the attempt for him to be somewhat funny.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah. So yeah, Michael Ealy, he probably could have played someone in this movie. I'm not sure who he could have played.
I think Michael Ealy could have played not Mister because he was a little too light skinned. Yeah. But I think he could have played their daddy or with makeup
Adolf Caesar.
Adolf Caesar, yes.
Right. Yeah, because he just looks pissed all the time, and that fits this narrative of this movie. All men are pissed, and all men are evil. So get away from them. Go date other women. So yeah, Donnie Coleman. Yeah, I think he did a good job, but yeah, it's hard to beat Danny Glover in that. Danny Glover, pretty good actor. The shave scene. There we go. The shave scene, I think, in The Color Purple, the original one, 1985. I messed up earlier, 83. I thought that was better. The shave scene where she gets ready to, after Mr. slaps her when she's reading one of those letters, yeah, come shave me. And you felt that she was gonna cut her neck. His neck. She was gonna cut his neck. The only thing that saved it was Suge Avery somehow figured out that Celie was gonna cut his neck. I'm not sure how she figured that. Can't remember.
I think the build up to that scene was better.
Yeah.
You recall
the music.
The original. I think Suge Avery is in the park or in by the lake reading.
I believe so.
And I believe there's music and Suge Avery is running towards the house.
Yeah. Don't know how she just knew though.
And then she was like, at least she said something along the lines of that doll looks sharp to me, Miss Celie, because she knew she was gonna cut him. It was the build up to that scene was far better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she was obviously Suge Avery was always trying to save Celie.
Mm-hmm.
From that, she saved her from doing time and killing this man, but she was also trying to save her, like give her a better life.
Yeah.
But it can be argued that she was the only one who saw a greatness in Celie that no one else. You gotta remember, her daddy didn't treat her well.
You talking about Celie's dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
She only had her sister at that point, and she was gone. So then Danny Glover was an asshole to her. So the only person in her life who really seemingly looked like they gave a damn about her was Suge Avery, the Suge Avery character.
Yeah, I guess Sophia too a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she easily could have beat Celie's behind after she told Harpo to beat her.
Yeah.
But she held back on her for some reason. She beat the guys, but she didn't beat the women. Take that. Why wouldn't you hit her? I mean, you hit the other girl that slapped you. I mean, Ray Dawn Chong for some reason. I guess maybe because she touched her. I guess I don't know.
And the white woman in the street.
And the white woman, but she paid dearly for that. And let me not leave that one too much. Let's see. Yeah, the shave scene I thought was better. Fantasia, she just got a little nervous, but she just didn't do it. She didn't look like she was attempting, like she was going to cut his neck or anything. And then, of course, they went to dinner, and eventually, she held a knife up to him after Mr. said a few choice words about her, and she's talking about she was going to leave and she didn't want him anymore. I say it was about the same for both. Color Purple's lead up with the knife to the neck of Mr., and then she left.
Yeah. I would say those two dinner scenes one wasn't better than the other. They were about equal to me. The two dinner scenes, I would say they were about equal. Yeah, I would say they were about equal as far as those two dinner scenes. The build up, but it was all the same. I would say the only slight difference was the Oprah character.
I was gonna say, and Adolf Caesar too. I thought they were funnier. I thought his one-liners and his quips were funnier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The interaction between Celie and Mister, as far as the dinner scene, was relatively the same. You're right about Adolf Caesar though. He added comedy to that scene.
Then she leaves, and Mister comes out. He does the familiar scene from Color Purple. Probably get it a little bit wrong. Add some stuff. You're ugly. You stink. Your hair nappy. You ain't got no job. You're a woman. Your clothes are horrible. You got corns on your feet. You got a torn ACL. I may have all that, but I'm here. I don't know if I want to be alive after you told me all them things.
I'm gonna have a pants store.
Yeah.
And you're gonna come to my store and beg for forgiveness. And you can buy some of the ugliest pants I've ever made. But I'm gonna still be here.
That's never gonna happen. You see to it, it'll never happen. I sure like them pants you got there with all them sequins on it. She put that curse on.
Oh God! And then he wore the pants to the damn dinner. I was like,
she might as well. I feel like she would have gave him a dress. He would have wore it at this point.
I'm like, is he a backup dancer for Hammer or something? Them pants was like parachute pants.
Nah, he was he was the backup singer for Flash. 5 Heartbeats in the 80s.
Oh God! But overall, man, great. There was differences in the movies.
Yeah,
the original was obviously way better.
Yeah, all right. It's more drama. It was more build up, I think, for a lot of the things. Like I said, we talked about the build up with Nettie being separated from her sister. The shave scene I thought was more build up to it. The soundtrack behind it. The reunion with Suge Avery and her father, no build up whatsoever. That is, to me, I don't care what anybody says. Now, even though I don't particularly like Color Purple like I used to like it as a child, that one scene where Suge Avery sings "God's trying to tell me something," tell me something. That scene right there, I don't care. People and there's always, when I watch that movie, there's people throwing like water under my eyes when I watch that. Some people will mistake that as tears. But when I watch that scene, man, it gets me every time.
You're talking about the original from when she's at the juke joint.
Yes.
Then they march all the way to the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gets me every time.
And she said, see, Daddy, sinners have soul too, or something along those lines.
And the way he slowly hugged her and finally embraced her, and she was streaming tears.
Yeah.
For finally being accepted back in her daddy's good graces.
And you know what? Another reason I couldn't take that scene that serious? Because it was David effing Alan Grier. I'm sorry. Okay, so you got hear me out. David Alan Grier is a preacher in a serious capacity. If I see David Alan Grier as a preacher, I'm ready to laugh. You're
going back to Martin, right?
And that's yes, and I couldn't take it serious. Yeah. And I'm thinking, when is a joke gonna come?
Yeah. And he didn't seem cold to her.
And even if he didn't have a joke, it's the fact that all these years of David Alan Grier being a preacher is built in my head. So I'm thinking the funny David Alan Grier is a preacher, not serious David Alan Grier is a preacher.
Yeah. I didn't get coldness from him like I got from whoever the original guy was and the original Color Purple. I didn't feel coldness like I'm never going to talk to you again based on the lifestyle that you are currently living, which is a prostitute. It seems like he just regularly took her back in There was no choir. The church was done
Church
for
was
in
empty.
this new one.
He was at the
She,
piano just singing.
yeah,
She just walked into the church and started singing with him.
yeah. It seemed too easy. Like, yeah, I'll just come in and sing with you. You see you on the piano. Why don't you just let me sing with you?
Yeah.
You know, and oh, okay, well, I forgive you then. Okay. All you had to do was sing with me the whole time. She had to do a whole lot of work. She brought all these what you would call heathens or sinners from the juke joint, which church people
Uh,
didn't like, brought them all to the church to show that she could change her ways and their ways,
yeah.
and they could become one, and she could be part of his family again and part of the congregation again. He would love her again. Didn't get none of that from this one.
Had Lawrence Fishburne in there playing the sax.
Looking like Ike Turner back then too on the original one. Looked
Oh
just
man.
like him.
Yeah.
Had
Oh,
really didn't have that many lines if he had any in that one.
no, I don't think he did. He? Oh, yeah, he had one when in the original when the white lady couldn't get the car out of reverse.
Yeah. Okay, I
He's like,
got you.
can't get it out of reverse.
Yeah, she thought they were coming to attack her. I think
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Get away from me! Get away from me!
yeah. But
Like they
yeah,
ain't trying to hurt you.
David Allen Greer, man, I was like, man, this is even when he was, I can tell it was like, all right, we need a serious David Allen Greer, but I couldn't take him serious.
Yeah, I mean that's really no fault of his own, but yeah, all I could think about was the preacher from Martin. When I saw
Now,
that,
this is how good Deion Cole is because I could take Deion Cole
I
serious.
could, I could. He did a good job. There was that other movie he played in too that I was shocked to see him in. It was the Western movie that's on Netflix.
I know what you're talking about. Um, the harder
Had
they fall,
Jonathan Majors and Idris Elba.
the harder they fall.
Harder They Fall. Yeah, he played a serious role in that pretty
Yeah.
much. And I was like, Dion Cole. I was like, man, I don't know. That's his natural acting ability, or he took some classes. But
Yeah.
that dude's he got some roles coming his way in the future.
He's really good. He's really good. He's really, really good.
Well, let's see. Only other thing I guess we'll get to is the ending. We'll go back to the ending now. The ending was a little. I will agree with you. Was a little different. Might have been a little better this go around because it showed a little bit more of redemption with Celie this go around. When they were sitting at the table amongst everybody, pretty much all the characters that were in the movie, uh, mostly the women, and Mister was there. Mister had brought Celie's family together. Of course, he paid to have the family brought from Africa back to the States. They had a dinner, and Sophia was there, and she was looking happy and brand new, and Suge Avery was there looking happy and brand new. I think they were all wearing white, if I'm not mistaken. Nettie
Yeah,
was
they
there.
were.
Nettie, grown up Nettie was there as Sierra. Again,
Mhm.
no dancing, as far as I can remember. They all sang at the table and sang about mostly moving forward in the future and being happy and prosperous now. And you didn't get that in the original one, but so this one seemed to end on a higher note than the original one.
It definitely ended on a higher note. Again, with the portrayal of Taraji as Suge Avery and the ending of that movie, in my opinion, that's what saved it from being a total dud. I appreciated the different route they took towards the end
Mhm.
as opposed to original.
But overall, I didn't give my rating for it. Let me give my rating for it. I'm
Okay.
gonna be a little kinder than you on this one. Yeah, you gave it a 5. I'm a again. I'm I'm going to give it a 6.3. That's what I'm going to give it. Just a little above average because some of the music was pretty good. And I can appreciate other people going to like the music probably better than I am. Hate the message, but I did like the cinematography. There's one part I didn't get to talk about when they did show them go to Africa. When Celie was reading the letters sent from Nettie, I did like that scene when they were showing people in African garb and they showed people dancing and singing and showing the good parts of Africa. And then there was wars happening at the same time. Later on in the story that she was reading through the letters, I did like that part. The cinematography was great. I thought didn't have enough build up for a lot of the scenes. I think a lot of context got cut out to make scenes seem more powerful, which is part of the build up, which took away from the storyline because it just seems like 1 minute Celie is going from being with her dad to being with Mister, but I don't think there was a lot of exchange to show how bad. Oh, okay, hold on. We're talking about the wonderful color purple. Yeah, we gave it a 10, both of us. I don't know if we were just talking about how we gave Color Purple a 10, how great the movie was. Now we didn't give it a 10. Sorry. Can she hear us?
You can hear us.
Can she hear us? Oh, she can't hear us? Okay, good. We did not give it a 10. that is Tremaine's wife right there. They both went, hey, what's going on? We were talking about the color purple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were giving our ratings on how we liked or did not like the movie. Tremaine gave his earlier, and I just gave mine. Tremaine, what did you give it?
I gave it a 5.
Out of. Oh, really? Nick, what did you give it?
I gave it a 6.3.
Not a 6.3.
Yeah, I gave it a 0.3. Yeah. Well, the movie wasn't for us. It was for y'all. It wasn't for us.
That is true.
I'm not a huge musical fan, but I did appreciate some of the songs that were up there. Yeah, I had to give it a 6.3, just slightly above average. I love the original one, and how the cinematography, the storyline, whatever like that. Thought it was a little bit different this go around, but yeah.
Well, I give it a much higher rating.
What'd you give it?
Probably because coming from a female perspective, I will say most interviews you will see of women, and they will tell you it's a women empowerment movement. I could tell where they wanted to give a different spin on it, where it wasn't so gloomy, but it was like women, taking over and being more empowered. So, and I love musicals, so.
Right. What would you give it out of 1 through 10? What would you give it?
I would give it an 8. And here's why.
Okay.
I think we threw some folks in there for namesake because of who they were. I was surprised to see a couple of people in there that just seemed like they just didn't fit for me.
Okay. What'd you think about the Whoopi appearance as the midwife?
I actually liked the little cameo. I thought it played homage to the original one. Correct me if I'm wrong, she's the only one, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think they just wanted to do that. Now, was that necessary? No. What I was confused by Sierra in the end.
Yeah. That was thrown in. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, Cece. Other than that, there were some newcomers I hadn't seen that I thought did very well. So.
Halle Bailey.
So she's known because, of course, she's a part of the the Beehive. If she's not a part of the Beehive, she's sure making money off Beyonce.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So I wonder if her, like if anything she gets is contracted under Beyonce.
She getting 80% off top.
Probably so. But I thought she did very well. Very well. I loved her in Little Mermaid. So I think she did.
Okay, between Suge Avery and this one and the old one, Taraji and Margaret Avery and the old one, who'd you like better?
Well, I like the old one because it was more organic. I know that Taraji really had to dig deep, probably in her old Howard days, where I can do it all. I'm gonna do a little singing, I can do the acting, but I still think she did good. I think she did good.
Yeah, I thought they both did good. I gave the slight nod to Taraji on this one, though.
Okay, is it because you have never heard her sing?
That played a part into it. I really didn't think she was going to be singing in this one. I thought it was going to be a voiceover.
I did too.
But I was impressed by that. I was like, dang, she really can sing. Yeah. But I was impressed by that.
I wasn't surprised because, she went to Howard, and Howard is, known for the arts. Excuse me, it escaped me, but for the arts. So.
Okay, well, for that very reason, I still didn't give Fantasia a better Celie than Whoopi. I thought Whoopi was still better. I thought she embodied the role better than.
So let me tell you, I love me some Fantasia.
Mm-hmm.
But the faces she was making, someone could really go left with some memes because some of the faces are just like, wow. But I did love Fantasia. I just, it just wasn't as organic.
It's like she was trying. Like Whoopi was like naturally Celie, but like Fantasia was like, we're trying, like try to look like Celie.
Exactly. It was like a.
Yeah, that's a face right there. That's a face she would make too.
And it gets stuck there. It would just get stuck there. It just never came through with a tear. I wanted a tear or something. It just be a. And I was like,
it's like one of those spankings you get as a kid that it was so hard that you couldn't say anything, you couldn't breathe, like.
Exactly.
And then like 10 seconds later, all the tears would come out, but her tears never came out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So at 8, 6.3, Tremaine a 5. 5 was like average. It's almost below average.
I was about to say he probably slept through it, but interestingly, he did stay awake for the entire movie.
That's a trooper right there. That's a good man right there.
He did watch it twice.
That's a good man right there. He gonna get some good dinner tonight for that.
No.
I elect he gets 2 Father's Days this year because of that. Maybe even 2 birthdays.
Okay. You gonna come to it if I throw one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
That's one RSVP.
Wife, everyone, my beautiful wife.
All right.
My beautiful wife.
All right. I'm trying to get you 2 Father's Days, man. Which means you get nothing for 2 straight days.
Oh, where we leave off?
We just gave our ratings for that. We were just about to go into the last thing before we sign off. We're going to talk about the video with not Katt Williams, but Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
His response to Katt Williams, who did this interview on Shannon Sharp earlier this year, where he was ethering and destroying the lives of all comedians. So people say anyway. Dave didn't appear to like that. And let me see if I can get this first video up here.
I didn't see this interview.
Okay, it was not an interview. It was Dave on stage at a comedy show, and Dave is very introspective. He always talks about social issues within his comedy, but he was being very loose with this. So loose, I don't know what comedy place he was at, but somebody recorded on a cell phone. So, usually he has a no cell phone policy, but this place, I guess, didn't adhere to that. So let me see. Make sure I get the first one up here.
function like that. And Katt is one of the best painters.
Let's see.
And this nigga is the arbiter of truth. Katt, listen. Story. The story.
I'm trying to get the first one up here.
Good.
The game is this. He only eats the niggas. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. And none of these white boys function like that. And Katt is one of the best painters in the game. So why are you drawing all ugly pictures of us? Stop. And Katt and hurt people, but I'm a hurt person that never hurt people. And he does it all the time. Fuck this one and fuck that one and fuck this one. But nigga, I didn't hear anything that you did wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. Katt didn't do nothing wrong.
MREC TV.
I'm gonna bring a picture of a black guy. Katt did this to me. Katt was talking about shit that niggas did to other niggas, but not about anything that niggas did to him. If I told my
Played another video.
it would break your heart. Your heart. If I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything and never, ever told on anybody. And this nigga is the arbiter of truth. Katt, listen, I fuck with Katt hard.
MREC TV.
Wait, D-Ray, just tell me, what part of the game fucks up another nigga's paper?
MREC
What part
TV.
of the game is about tilling on another nigga? Tiffany Haddish is lifting something heavy, and as clumsy as she is, I don't disagree with Katt. He be telling the real shit.
MREC
This one's fucked up this way, and that one's fucked up this way. Yes, nigga, that is true. But why would you say that? Because all of us are trying to be in a better situation.
Okay, so yeah, what is your thoughts on this video from Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, I think Chappelle's right. I think Chappelle's right in regard to, I don't know what Katt was set out to gain in that. I mean, he has a tour, obviously, and maybe it was notoriety and publicity, which I guess worked to a degree because here everyone's talking about it. But if it was to ruin comics that he has had friendships and camaraderie with over the years, he didn't do that. At least not for the ones who are established, like your Cedrics, your Rickies,
Steve Harvey, yeah.
Steve Harvey. He's not ruining their career. He's not. They're still established. They're still going to get their gigs. They're still going to make their money. I think it was for Katt Williams, it was everyone's want to say it was a truth-telling thing. Okay, but while it, like Chappelle said, while it may be true, what relevance does it have? You know?
Mm.
What relevance does it have in this day and age? Katt Williams is pretty known himself, famous himself, rich himself. What relevance? It's not like Katt Williams is on the come up anymore. I can't understand if it's a young comic who's willing to throw everybody on the bus because he's not getting his shine. Katt Williams is getting shine too. Katt Williams is there. Katt Williams is amongst those comedians that he was speaking of. I mean, so Katt Williams has worked with most of those people.
All right.
So I don't get why he would do that. I mean, other than, you know, I mean, the one beneficial party is Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said too, Katt Williams is beneficial because I think he got a concert coming up, so it's going to put eyes on what he may say at the next concert, which he may drag a few more names through the mud. I think there was some half truths in what Dave said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with someone speaking on if they've been done wrong, and then outing people for doing you wrong on this couch. The problem is some of the people that he spoke on, it's like he spoke on them first. they just responded in kind. Kevin Hart being one. He kept speaking on Kevin Hart numerous times, and he spoke on Tiffany Haddish a few times. And Kevin Hart just responded and defended himself. And a lot of people comments were like, well, he didn't respond to nobody unless they spoke on him first. That's false. That's blatantly false. So it looked like he was just going at anybody that had a pulse.
Yeah.
You know, he even talked about Richard Pryor at one point. I don't think he really said anything negative about it, but he talked about Richard Pryor. They said Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Cedric Entertainer, Faison Love,
Steve Harvey,
Ricky Smiley, Mark Curry at one point. Not in a negative way, but
not negative. D.L. Hughley, not in a negative way.
Right. He said, kind of really that's the part. I don't know if Dave caught that, but in a way, he kind of spoke negative on Dave Chappelle. I don't know. Did you catch that? Where he said he was talking about where Dave Chappelle went through the thing he went through with the Chappelle show, and that he didn't lose that amount of money or whatever like that. He really didn't lose that much money like that. He spoke on it just a little bit, that he really didn't struggle.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, you know, he was telling people that he did. That he really didn't just turn down what was 150 million or 50 million.
Oh, it was 50 million.
Something like that. Like, you know, he really didn't turn down that much money. He really, that's not true. He spoke on that, like I said, just a little bit, like it was a lie.
Yeah.
That they really struggled that much to stand pat on what he believed in. I didn't hear Dave. Dave's like, I didn't hear him say anything bad about me or anything, but he really kind of did. He kind of alluded to something about Dave off of that show.
He had something to say about any prominent comedian, with the exception of he said about Mike Epps.
Mike Epps was mad about that though. He's like, I wish he had.
Yeah, he was. Mike Epps was hot. Like he needs publicity too. He had something to say about Chris Tucker.
Oh, Chris Tucker. Oh, he's on the Epstein list. Michael Blackson.
Like I said, I like Katt Williams. I want to get this out there. I like Katt Williams, and I've said this to you in private conversation before. I do not think he is funnier than most of the people he named in the interview. I mean, we can go through it. Cedric is funnier than Katt Williams. Hate it or love it, it's true in my opinion. Steve Harvey is funnier than Katt Williams. Kevin Hart was funnier than Katt Williams.
People gonna really push back. Kevin Hart never been funny. Somehow
Tiffany
these people just come to his concert for no reason.
Katt Williams is funnier than Tiffany Haddish. Katt Williams is funnier than Faison Love. I don't know how the Katt Williams and Chris Tucker. What do you think?
Katt Williams.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it Katt Williams over Chris Tucker too.
I haven't thought. Nah, yeah, Katt Williams. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle obviously is funnier than Katt Williams.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle
is funnier than Katt Williams. And it's no knock on Katt. I think Katt is very funny. I do think all these people I just named, probably with the exception of Tiffany Haddish and Faison Love, have a different audience than Katt. I think Katt Williams is more urban, black folk, if you will.
I mean, that's most of the people you named, besides maybe Dave.
Like Chappelle,
Dave is global.
Kevin Hart, Cedric, and Steve. I think they have a brand that's not just all black folk.
Now they do. Steve definitely now does. That's why he had to get out of the game.
Yeah. I think, definitely Steve now. And I do believe Cedric the Entertainer is probably the name association with Steve Harvey, but I do think Cedric Entertainer has flooded over to an audience that exceeds just black folks and urban. Go ahead.
I was about to say, but here's the thing that I agree with Dave on. Because I disagree with him where he can't speak on the people who have done him wrong. Katt Williams wrong. Let him get out what he needs to get out if they did him wrong. And he's defending himself. He was being proactive in a lot of those people he was speaking on. But the part I agree with Dave is, like, what was the point behind this interview? What's really going to change? If he was hitting these people, like, where do you ever see white people do this? Like, I'm sure white people have spoke on a comedian, maybe a comedian or two in the interview. But what interview have you thought of in your head where, like, Seinfeld was going at every comedian that he felt done him wrong? Or I can't even think the dude name that used to hang out with Chappelle, the redhead dude. I forgot his name now.
You talking about Bill Burr?
Bill Burr.
Yes.
Burr, yeah. Well, he's bald now, but what he did. When has he ever done an interview like this where he just speaks on all these comedians that is amongst him and down their names or whatever? You don't see that happening. And as hard as it is, in at least black comedians, it's a little different today than it used to be. But there used to be a time where it was only one top black comedian. It was one guy that represented all the black comedians, and it moved on. It would be like Richard Pryor, it would be like Eddie Murphy, it'd be like Chris Rock. Now there's a lot of room now for black comedians to share a piece of the pie. But when you do this and you down all these other black comedians, it's almost like it puts you back in a competition where there only can be one again. They don't do that to each other in that community, white community. We're doing it to us, tearing each other down. Handle it in private. Give these people a phone call, whatever. If you got a problem with them, handle it like a man, talk to them, whatever like that, and handle it with them. But to go on a tirade, damn near every popular black comedian there is, and if you're saying they're the gatekeepers, which I have a problem with saying that too, they're not the gatekeepers. They know the people who are the gatekeepers. That's the people you should be downing. If you're saying they're wearing dresses, which was a big part of his argument, wearing dresses to get further ahead in their careers, don't speak to the persons wearing the dress. Speak to the people who are forcing them to wear the dress. Don't speak to the disease. Speak to the root of the disease.
Yeah,
that's the problem I have. That I agree with Dave with on that. If you're going to complain about these people doing this, also speak on why they're doing that, and then complain about them too.
Yeah. I believe. I believe Katt. Excuse me. I believe the reason he did it on the platform he did it on, which was Shannon Sharp's
Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay. It's almost like Ricky Smiley was on Shay Shay, Steve Harvey was on Shay Shay, the Entertainer was on Shay Shay. I guess that was the three that was enough for him to say, all right, I'm going to go on Shay Shay and give my piece and share my piece.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, and with him sharing his piece, he just unloaded the clip on everybody in the game. But and then he said some things that kind of didn't even. He said the Entertainer didn't have a stand up on Netflix. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, Cedric the Entertainer has had a stand up on Netflix. The whole stealing of the joke.
The designing women one I agree with. He stole that joke. Cedric stole that joke. I've been disagreeing with some comedians about the Cedric joke. Again, I think he was inspired to do a different joke based on one part with the car driving part. I don't think the joke is the same with Cedric and Katt, just the car part. It's, to me, as I told you, it'd be like someone saying, a comedian stole my joke when I had a joke that was joking on fat people. It's like, oh, you can't do that. I joked on fat people, so you can't make a joke about fat people, even though it's a different kind of joke.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. Like, no, that's a subject matter. you can make the joke how you want, but if you're copying a joke word for word or just changing a few words out verbatim, then yeah, that's stealing of a joke. I didn't see the words he stole from Katt Williams' joke that made it his joke. Just him getting in a car and using music in the background.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think he stole it. It was if you want to use the word inspired, if you want to use the word, I don't know, just this. I guess inspired would be the best word, but I didn't think it was stolen. I think Cedric the Entertainer. I think the two jokes, Cedric's was funnier.
I can go either or.
I'll say of the two jokes, I think Cedric's was funnier. I think Cedric's was going back to when we said the build up in some of the scenes in Color Purple. I think Cedric the Entertainer built that joke up more and made it funnier. I just think Katt Williams was just on one. You know, he kept saying he's not intoxicated, or maybe he wasn't, and maybe this was his truth.
He wasn't.
But you know, with his truth, like what did it do? You know, you know, Cedric the Entertainer is rich. After that interview, Cedric the Entertainer is going to remain rich and employed. Steve Harvey is going to remain rich and employed. Ricky Smiley is going to remain rich and employed. So is Kevin Hart. Yeah. I mean, so I get that was your truth, but what did it do?
Yeah. In the end, what did it do? Unless it made you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, Dave is like, man, why? He said, I went through the same things too. And he said, Katt won't lie though. So I'll put that out there. He said, the man ain't lying. He told a lot of truth in that. But I've been through those same things as he has, but I still haven't taken money out of people's mouths either.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was his main message. Like, don't take the message out, don't take money out of these comedians' mouth. Like, because I've been through some things just like you have.
Yeah.
No, but
go ahead. My beautiful wife, who was just up here a couple minutes ago, she loves Katt Williams. She loves, like, that's one of her favorite comics. And I'll watch Katt Williams with her, and I'll laugh. I think Katt Williams is funny. Again, he's a brilliant comedian. Just not as funny as most of the people he was coming at.
Yeah. Again, I said I think there's some truths in both sides. I don't mind Katt speaking on if people did hurt him and try to damage his legacy. But a lot of that seemed like overkill.
But you know what? I would appreciate it more if he did that in a stand-up. You know, give your truth and what you do best in joke form and stand-up.
That definitely would have put some eyes on stand-up. Yeah.
You know, if everything you're saying is true and you're a great comedian, which I think you are, I think Katt Williams could have gave his truth and made it funny in stand-up.
Yeah.
And that would have been, okay, that's him at that point. That's not him sitting down in the interview. That's him doing his job as a stand-up comedian, but also telling his truth.
Okay, that's true. All right, well, that was going to be the last thing we're going to talk about today. We're going to wrap it up for the last rewind for me, Big Red, and Tremaine. We're talking about The Color Purple and Katt Williams today. Hope you appreciated what we did on today's show. And we'll come up with some new topics the next time we come up here. Please like and subscribe so we can stay up here, and leave comments in the comment section. Don't be too nasty because I don't want to have to block you. But
I'm not hurt. You can Red say he don't want to have to block you, but you know, I got a wife and kids. I'm pretty sure I've heard worse.
Damn. So that gives me another reason not to get married. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, but we'll see y'all on the last rewind. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
Peace.